初めての相手はジョジョではない。このディオだ。
The FPS genre is one of the biggest genres in gaming. From Titanfall to Call of Duty, the games make millions of dollars on each release. But the games started from quite a small beginning. I'm going to look at two games that I believe have very big basis in this, that both are very important to their world and important to mine. I'll be looking at what they are, how they changed the gaming world, and how they were important to me. I'll also put in some pros and cons in case you want to play the game yourself. So, let's hop into it. The first game we're going to be talking about is Halo 2. Halo 2 came out in 2004 for the original Xbox as a sequel to the original Halo in 2001. Halo stars you as Master Chief as you go around fighting aliens known as the Covenant. You get to pick up different weapons, you get to hop in different vehicles, and you get to chase them around as you are the ultimate soldier. But in this game, things aren't as black and white. You get to play as one of the game's main antagonists, the Arbiter. You get to see from their side that they are brainwashed and feel fed into a false belief that the Halo rings, which are massive super weapons, will lead them to freedom by their prophets. So, you get to fight as Master Chief and the Arbiter to help stop Halo from being activated. So you're probably asking yourself, why is Halo 2 so important? Didn't the original Halo introduce everything? Well, yes, but Halo 2 improved on it. Vehicles, better. Guns, better. And one of the best multiplayer systems of all time. If you ever decide to have a sit down with your mates and play a game of Halo with your friends with local split screen multiplayer, that was Halo 2. If that game didn't come out, that would have never happened. You wouldn't get to shoot your friends in the back while you're peeking at everyone else's screen. And then they get angry at you and you're not friends with them again. How could you give up that experience? It's a beautiful experience to hate your friends because they screen peek. It's a beautiful experience. So let's talk about some of the pros and cons of the game. Some pros is the gameplay. The gameplay is entirely fun. You get to play through as the original Master Chief, you get to play through as the Arbiter, and you get different abilities with each one. Master Chief gets an overshield, and the Arbiter gets invincibility. And you get a nice variety of guns to constantly switch your gameplay. And with the Master Chief Edition, which came out for the Xbox One, you get something called skulls. And what skulls do is that you can add them on, and you can play and add special things. My personal favorite is the Scarab Skull, which turns every single weapon into a blast that kills everything in a 10-meter radius, and it means you can kill an enemy in one hit, any enemy. But that also includes you. So you have to not kill yourself when you have an automatic machine gun that fires nuclear missiles at the point sometimes. It's fun. Some cons, I would have to say, are the gameplay. Not the gameplay, vehicle gameplay, to be more specific. At times, it can be quite hard for you to drive the vehicles because they didn't add an accelerator. No, you have to drive using the stick. So you move the stick forward as you would to walk in order to accelerate. It makes no sense. The driving scheme is almost as dumb as Damien Watts. I do not understand why. I need to slap for that. I need to slap across the face for that joke. But still, it's not a smart setup. And at times things can be a bit buggy. Some of the things on the multiplayer maps, like the teleporters, don't work 100% of the time, and you never use them. But even though I find the game is much more pros than there are cons. So let's talk about some of the pros and cons of the game. Some pros is the gameplay. The gameplay is entirely fun. You get to play through as the original Master Chief, you get to play through as the Arbiter, and you get different abilities with each one. Master Chief gets an overshield, and the Arbiter gets invincibility. And you get a nice variety of guns to constantly switch your gameplay. And With the Master Chief Edition, which came out for the Xbox One, you get something called skulls. And what skulls do is that you can add them on and you can play and add special things. My personal favorite is the Scarab Skull, which turns every single weapon into a blast that kills everything in a 10-meter radius, and it means you can kill enemy in one hit, any enemy. But that also includes you. So you have to not kill yourself when you have an automatic machine gun that fires nuclear missiles at the planet sometimes. It's fun. So why was this game important to me? Well, it was the first game to actually get me into video games. My dad had the original Xbox, he had a original PC, but the very first person shooter I ever played, very first video game I actually got into was Halo 2. I remember sitting down and finding Halo 2 in his collection and playing it. It was the very first game that I ever fell in love with. I always thought video games were weird, which is in itself a weird sentence looking back at it, but I don't think Halo 2 just made me fall in love with video games. And if it was not for me playing these games and with the local multiplayer, me and my dad having a few rounds of trying to kill each other on Slayer mode, it was just a nice bonding time. We used all that time to bond, we used that time to grow as people. It was an incredibly important time in my life, and I believe that if I didn't play that kind of game when I was that age, if I didn't play Halo 2, I wouldn't be the same guy I am today. Alright, what's the next game on our list? Doom. We're talking about Doom. It's gonna be good. So what is Doom? Doom is a game that came out in 1994. Yeah, that's a long time ago. It's originally for PC on 4 floppy disks, which is a thing I understand, because when I was young I actually played this game, which, looking back at it, was probably not smart. Anyway, let me get to the plot synopsis. You play the Doom guy. You're basically a space marine that goes to Mars and finds a portal to hell. So you must fight and beat up and kill and all this kind of stuff to get to the portal and finally shut it down. This game is one of the most crucial games to ever be made. Its level design, its intuitive design, how they made it, which I'll get into a little bit later because I'll nerd out about it a little bit later, and all of this stuff, even though it was not technically the first game to come out like this, that would go to the title of Wolfenstein 3D. And if you want to check out that game can be just a little bit more than Doom is, but I like Doom. Its level design, its gameplay, even though it's so simplistic and you can't even aim. You only aim forward, you can't even aim up. But it has a thing where it kills anything that's up there, so still this game, it came out, it pushed the boundaries about what it could do and what gaming could do. So why was Doom important to me? Well, as I mentioned earlier, my dad owned an original PC, and he owned 4 floppy disks that had Doom on it. I remember logging on to the old PC and just using the floppy disks and playing Doom. Again, similar to Halo, I had no idea what he was doing. I was like 5, and I probably should have been playing the game when I was 5. That's probably why I am a weird guy. Even so, I would sit down and I would play the game for hours. I never even got off the very first level. I never figured it out. I never found the exit room. I was stuck there for hours and would never complete the game. Even still, playing the same level over and over and over again was just for some reason fun to me. And again, it was something that got me my love of video games. Second video game I ever played was Doom. And again, video games have become a part of me. I've fallen in love with video games. I've bombed people over video games. I've met people who are still friends with over video games. And I still thank Doom for that. It also got me into my love of PC gaming. Thanks to PC gaming, I'm able to play a lot more games than I can on a console. Which also means PC is the master race. PC Master Race for the win, boys! Now, before I get into my next topic, I need to talk about why this game is popular as it is, Doom. And before I start, I'm going to have to give a warning. This will be talking about Columbine, the school shooting in Columbine. If you're sensitive to that, just a little forewarning. So, the reason why Doom is as popular as it is controversy. Now, we all know the story of Columbine, how the two boys went in and they killed about 20 people. Now, what happened was that after the investigation, they investigated what the boys consumed, what they listened to, and one of the things that one of the boys played was the original Doom game. So news outlets picked it up and reported that this game was violent and it caused their violent outbursts, or at least led to it, encouraged it, which even today has been still not been proven to be a link, but back in the time, you can't really blame them. They were looking for answers because they were sad. And to this day, Australia and New Zealand have still banned the game for that exact news report. But because of that, the game's sales jumped. And it's a little sad to think about. One of the most devastating things to happen on US soil is the reason why a multi-million-dollar business started. I just wanted to address it. I know that can be sensitive to some people, but I figured it was a good idea to bring it up. A little interesting history on the game. Anyway, let's talk about new releases. Halo's had its releases. It's had Halo 5, which is pretty bad, but something that Doom had, Almighty Doom, was the 2016 game, which was a return to form. Had the exact same thing. You never had to sprint. You were always running, never reloading, except for the super shotgun. But it also added new elements. It added upgrading. It added point systems. It added trial runs. It added all this new stuff to the game while keeping it old school. And it's one of the best games that Bethesda has ever made. So, what does Halo have coming up for new games? Well, it's got Halo Infinite, which has just had a new gameplay trailer released, and it looks really good. I'm really hoping Bungie nails this one. And Doom also has a new game coming out with Bethesda again. Doom Eternal. And, judging by how much gameplay footage they've shown, they're not going to pull another Country Roads on us. So, I'd like to thank you for watching my presentation. I know it can be a little boring, my voice can be monotone, a little silly at times, but thank you for watching, and give me good mark, please.